as a new convert of winning souls. But first, I just want to ask everybody, we have a 10,000 soul revival right here on this hand. And on this other one, we've got God, and He's going to either use us or He's not. And this 10,000 soul revival, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And so I just want to ask each and every single one of you to pray with me right now. Just pray that you would receive this message, whether it's what I have to say or what Sister Mackenzie has to say about winning souls. Because it's got to be us that God is going to use in this city to win these souls. Just pray with me right now in the name of Jesus. Lord, my God, I ask right now, Lord, that you would move right over, Lord, I ask, Lord, in the name of Jesus, that you would reach down and touch every ear, God. In the name of Jesus, Lord, that this word is not God, in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, oh my God, and we try to see lost souls saved in every single one, Lord, in their hearts tonight, God, that every person, Lord, including me, receive this place changed tonight, God, with the desire to be in the world, Lord, these lost souls, my God, to get to this 10,000 soul revival that I know is going to happen in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, Lord, have your way, God. Have your way, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. So before I talk about what I have for you guys, I went home after Brother Mark asked me to preach, and I was talking to my dad, and he was talking to me about the message, and we started talking about reaching out to people. And whenever he was in San Antonio, he was a part of a church, and they actually did outreach, and they went into the worst part of towns in San Antonio. You can imagine how big that place is. And there was this one place that they would all go. And this is a church that, they don't have truth, so just keep that in mind. But they all would go, and the people would come running. They would turn the corner, and he said that people knew them because they had continuously come back. They had continuously come, and they knew that they were a church full of faith and belief in prayer. So they would turn around the corner, and he said that he would see people with crack pipes. He would see prostitutes. He would see drug dealers with money, and the drug dealers would be folding their money up, putting it in their pocket. The people with crack pipes would be hiding them in the shadows, hiding them under bushes, hiding them under trees. And the prostitutes would be running up, ready to get prayer from this group of people who came to pray. And he said by the end of the time that everybody hid all of their things and ran over, that they had a group of 35, 40 people in this prayer circle. And I just thought how amazing that is. We don't think about the worst parts of the world like that. Sometimes we think about Altus and, we think about neighborhoods, we think about people going to churches, but we're not thinking about, these other people as well, the ones that, were having to hide these crack pipes, the prostitutes that are on the streets. And how amazing is that they laid down everything that they had going on in the world at that moment to receive prayer. And that's because they had some knowledge of Jesus, and they knew that prayer worked, otherwise they would not have prayed for it. So just keep that in mind as I talk. I just want to talk to you a minute about how I grew up, just to give you a little background. I grew up in the Church of Christ. I went to Sunday school. I grew up reading the Bible and praying at meals with my family. I grew up knowing God was real. I grew up knowing heaven and hell were both real. I knew about baptism, and I thought that's what it took to be saved. I grew up with a foundation. But when life got hard, my faith failed me. It failed me because I didn't truly know who Jesus was. I knew he came and died on the cross for me, but I did not know him personally. I stood for Jesus. I had morals because of Jesus. I loved God, but I loved him the way that I wanted to love him. A love that was conditioned through eyes of misunderstanding. And to be honest, I didn't know how to love Jesus. I didn't know how to know him. I only knew of him. I lacked a consistent prayer life. I prayed only when I needed something for me or someone else. I did not worship him. I believed that if I believed, then that was enough. I didn't study or meditate on his word, which is why I didn't know him, because he is the word. I knew what I wanted, but I did not know what he wanted. But although my faith failed me, and although I did not know him like I do now, I thought that I did. I thought that I was a Christian. I knew what I knew, and that is what my foundation was. I was built on the same rock that it is now, but it was lacking in stability. See, sometimes as apostolics, we can get our mind on winning souls and discredit other people's relationship with God. I've been guilty myself. But just because they are not apostolic and they do not have a revelation of truth, that does not mean that they don't have a relationship with God. So first and foremost, when winning souls, recognize their relationship with God and build on it. Do not tear down the foundation that they already have. Build. When a sinner without a revelation of truth is hungry for God, they do not know what they are looking for. They're just looking for something different. They're looking for change. I remember the very first service I sat in, I remember thinking, wow, this is definitely different. I didn't even know what worship was because in the Church of Christ we sang hymnals and no one ever raised their hand or danced or shouted, but God moved. I remember thinking, wow, this is God. I remember Miranda coming to where I was and praying for me. I remember David Reuter coming to the nursing home for the service and talking to me while I was working. Maybe it was one of his corny jokes, or maybe it was a miss you at church. I remember people saying I looked nice even when I was wearing pants. I remember people loving me for me the way that God does. And that's what it takes.
Yes.
What helped me was people loving me, people taking the time to get to know me, building me up, and becoming concerned about my life. Taking the time to teach me the Word, inviting me to youth night, including me, praying with me, eating with me, and even buying my meal. None of these things saved me, but all of them showed me the difference that I was looking for. Like I said, sinners, they don't know what they're looking for when they're hungry for God. They're just looking for something different. It was genuine hearts that just loved God that led me back to Him. It was the faithfulness of the church that moved the mountain of doubt away from my eyes. It was in the time of my reflection that I thought about the time people took to notice me and made me feel important, about the love that was shown and how they made me feel. It wasn't what was said or the food that was eaten. It was how the church and the people, how they made me feel. Sometimes we think it all has to be perfect to reach for people. My house has to be clean, I need more money, I need to be more prepared, etc. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. It's how you make people feel. They won't remember what you said. They won't remember the thing that you bought them to eat. They won't remember, maybe they won't even remember the preaching. But they're going to remember how each and every single one of you made them feel in that service or at that meal table. They're going to remember how, you made them feel. I remember whenever I was out in the world, I never lost the desire after I had that foundation. And I never lost that foundation. I never lost the desire to seek God until, a while through, but I went to every single church there was. I've been to a Baptist church. I've been to the Church of God. I've been to the Church of Christ. I've been to a Mormon church. I've been to a Catholic church. I've been to a non-denominational church. I've been everywhere, every single type of church there was. And there was nothing about any of them that stood out as much as this church did to me. And you probably wouldn't believe it, but before I even came to this church, I actually went to an apostolic church in Purcell, and I didn't even know it. And that's God looking back. That was God reaching for me and planting a little seed, preparing me for what was to come. And so, my perspective on what it takes to win souls. First, it takes a willing heart. I'll pray with you. I'll teach you a Bible study. I'll be your friend. I'll invest in your life. Second, be available. Availability is everything. Let's go eat. Yes, I'll come give you a ride. Yes, I can talk right now. It takes sacrifice. Extra time in prayer, gas money to pick somebody up, advice for a situation, etc. It takes a giving of yourself that is beyond you, and it hurts sometimes. It takes being an example in communication through your words, actions, and music, prayer, etc. Let God do the rest. Let God move in your life. I'm going to say it again, but we always think that it takes a mountain to win a soul, and it doesn't. All it takes is a little bit of faith and a little bit of love and a little bit of commitment to their life. That's all it takes. All it takes is that one Bible study for them to see the truth. All it takes is that one service at church for the revelation of truth to be received. All it takes is that one hug or that one prayer that they needed from you and from God. And all that it takes is that. It doesn't require this big miracle. It doesn't require any of that. All it takes is one step of you, one step of faith, one planted seed. We've got to reach this city, guys. Almost every single person has a foundation in the city. Every single person. And that is not to be discredited. I mean, how amazing is that each and almost every single one of these people do have a foundation. All we have to do is build on it. All we have to do is speak a little bit of truth in someone's life. All we have to do is change the gas station that we go to and reach to that one person that's been coming here. All we have to do is change the place that we eat at and talk to that one girl who you talked to last time and she said she was going to come to church. All we got to do is hand out a card with their number on it and keep on texting them saying, hey, how are you doing? Hey, missed you at church today. Hey, where are you? Hey, can I give you a ride today? Hey, can I buy you some food tonight? Hey, can I do this for you? It takes a lot of your time. And that's what it's going to take from us. It's going to take the work. I remember whenever I was first coming, and Mark and Rhonda took the time to pour into me. And, it took a lot of hours out of their week. I remember sitting at the office for maybe at least 3 hours a day, at least. Maybe more, at Rhonda's office and at her job, that's her job. I remember them buying me meals. I remember spending 5 hours with them after church service because we were at Applebee's talking, I remember Bible studies. I remember hyphen groups. I remember all of these things, and I don't know how much time that took out of their week, but I know that it was more than the 6 hours that we spent at church. I know that it was at least half of their week. Half of their week. So on this fast, I just want to ask you guys to pray about these souls that we've got to win. And I know Pastor asked you guys to pray about that, but pray about how to reach these people who already have a foundation that we just need to build on. Pray for the words that you need to speak and the wisdom that you need. Yes, help me too. And if I can do anything, let me know. Coming from a different church and a different background, it's been different. It's been very, very different, but I'm here for each and every single one of you guys. And we're going to do this.
Yep.
Amen. We're going to reach these 10,000 souls. I believe it. In the name of Jesus.